Conor situation.
Yeah.
Once we get set up. Good.
Yep, we're good.
So, Chairman, just a couple quick questions. I know it was largely an administrative day, but two names were pulled from the agenda today that were expected to be addressed with Esadula and Rizvan. Can you explain why they were removed today and not addressed?
Don't have the final addresses yet.
Okay. Fair enough. So does that, we assume maybe it was because they're not licensed cornermen or something. I mean, why would theirs take longer than the others today?
Just it's the gathering of evidence, locating people, getting the proper addresses, and following the statute to the T.
Fair enough.
Have to do these things right. So.
The names that we are seeing here, is that it? Have we determined that this is the total of people that may be facing anything for this?
Not sure yet. So I think it's close to the end, but not sure.
Fair enough. And Islam Makhachev was a name. He's a UFC fighter. He's been booked, whose name was initially thrown out there. We haven't seen it here. Does that name ring familiar to you? Do you know if he's facing anything?
I can't comment on that, but I understand what you're asking me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And last thing for me, I know the December 10th date was the date where we were originally expecting resolution. Today the Attorney General's office said, or maybe January. Any idea how hopeful you are that we have resolution on December 10th, or if it looks more like January?
I'd like to get it done as soon as possible, but it's complicated. As you know, this wasn't an easy one, and trying to just make sure we have all the evidence. We're still waiting for the final report from the executive director with all the video evidence, and there's been a lot of interviews that have happened to understand a lot of things. But I'd like to get it done as soon as possible for the fighters' sake and for the sport's sake, and to move forward. And then they will be offered the opportunity, like all fighters are. They can reach a settlement in this if the commission would approve that. So once all those complaints are final and the evidence is final, then there's a process there that would take some time to see what they want to do. It's really at the fighter's discretion. The law provides and the regulations provide for that avenue. So we have to offer that to them, and that's a path they could take. And they could take a little longer if that happens.
Oh, so are you able to say, because we heard a lot of no responses today, are you able to say if Mr. McGregor and Mr. Nurmagomedov have responded to the complaints?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're in communication with them and their counsel, and they're the fighters. The rest of the people here are either corners, other fighters, support, what have you. And it's not unlikely that you may not get a response from them. We've certainly seen that in the past. They may have no interest in dealing with Nevada or coming back to Nevada in any capacity. So, but we still will hear their cases, as you can see, in their absence or lack of response, and move forward.
Are we expecting all the cornermen and McGregor and Khabib themselves to be heard in one hearing, or are you looking at McGregor and Khabib on December and then perhaps the rest on January, or are you trying to knock it all out at once?
It could happen over multiple meetings. Okay. It just depends how, as these temporary suspensions or these complaints get filed, how each party responds or does not respond. And we need to follow the process for notice and the proper time to respond, to confirm that they're not going to respond or they will respond, and then have those discussions. So I'd like to have it all done at once, but it doesn't always work that way.
And last hearing, you were pretty clear you wanted McGregor and Nurmagomedov to attend the December hearing. Is that still standing? And
yeah, if they do not reach a settlement with the Attorney General, then they will have to be here. Okay. We will not hear the case over the phone. If they reach a settlement with the Attorney General, then it would be past practice for us to waive that appearance, and so I would consider doing that if they can get there in time.
Okay. And does the same thing apply to the cornermen, or is they perhaps a little bit less high profile? They don't have to attend if they.
The same thing would apply for the cornermen. Yeah, we would keep the process consistent for the whole issue here.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.